This is Zombieland Headshot Fever Reloaded, a complete overhaul of the original Headshot Fever that released 2 years ago and offered up an arcade shooter tasking you with killing the undead in the fastest possible time through a variety of courses. This released February 22nd, 2023 for the Psvr 2 headset for roughly $25 US. Where ports of Quest 2 games are aplenty, I can say that this release stands out from the others I've played so far. Now let's find out why. Hello survivors, this is Ryan for the VR Grid, and before we get to it, don't forget to do all the YouTube things you're supposed to help us out, and don't forget to tune in to the Virtual Boys podcast, which airs live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on this channel. And now, the review. For those unfamiliar with the franchise, the zombie apocalypse has happened and you are one of the survivors, stumbling across the crew from the films and taking part in some wacky fun as you compete in zombie-killing gauntlet runs that task you with getting through them as fast as you can, or completing stage-specific goals, all in an effort to compete in the Zombieland Invitational, where you can claim ultimate bragging rights. Headshot Fever looks to bring the R-rated comedy and violence to our headsets by having us play through a series of ranked, competitive comedic stages. A tutorial breaks down the core gameplay, which has you teleporting through each stage and shooting all the zombies you see at each stop. The name of the game here is Speed, Memorization, and Accuracy, which means practice and replay will be key to your victory, making this a very easy pick up and play title, but one that will take a fair time commitment to master, assuming you care to do so. The key mechanic holding this all together is Adrenaline mode, which is triggered by every double tap you perform, and once you've blown off a zombie's head in expert fashion, time will slow down, allowing you to take out more of the slow-mo undead in an effort to chain together more adrenaline in the hopes of keeping that active as long as possible to trim down those final run times and feel like a badass while doing it. Thankfully, it's not all on you to get to the Invitational, as your film cohorts offer some help, including a gun range and, more importantly, a weapon station, where you can spend your hard-earned loot on new armaments and upgrades. Each stage has additional objectives besides speedrunning them, and each of those also offers up bonus loot, so it's best to focus on those objectives to max out your guns, as the regular runs don't typically reward you with a ton of loot. With each stage only taking a few minutes or less, it's easy to try and try again, making the entirety of this experience one based on how much you want to prove your skills, well, and all the fun of killing zombies too. Whether it's your starter pistol or any of the other main weapon options, with your offhand holding either a shotgun or machine gun based upon what you've chosen to purchase. Reloading is simple, with you needing to flick down on the thumbstick to open the gun or drop the magazine, and then bringing said weapon to your stomach area. Everything in here is designed to be quick, so those looking for any sort of simulation gunplay will be left wanting, but as far as streamlining action, I don't know how they could have made this any simpler, which is a good thing, as this does feel like an arcade shooter of old, like Time Crisis or House of the Dead, but if they were only speedruns. Well, standard zombies will shamble, run, or crawl towards you. You'll also face a variety of special zombies that can either take more damage, throw stuff, incite other zombies in the area to rush you, and a few more unique ones you'll find throughout the game. There are only 12 main stages to get through, though many have B-sides, which start you off typically at the end of a stage and have you going through each one in reverse or on different routes entirely, with those stages also having more difficult challenges. The shooting range also offers up more goals, with many of those achievements rewarding you with loot, in the form of very valuable toilet paper, weapon skins, or perks, the latter of which will greatly affect your game as they can boost your ammo count, disable zombie abilities, protect you from tossed items, and a host more options that you can change up on the fly, which is great, as some stages may require different strategies to reach those top scores. What this all makes is a game that's highly replayable and easy to do so thanks to those quick runs, and the fact that the gunplay feels fair means the emphasis really isn't improving, and as a guy who typically doesn't dig the sort of grind, I'm digging the grind here. It's an addicting game loop and one that's all too easy to just go one more round, especially when the next upgrade or unlock is right around the corner, and each one will noticeably up your game, making the chase for the next upgrade just as important as the last. Minus some redesigns in the stages, the core gameplay from 2 years ago is largely the same, just improved and enhanced, but the presentation has been overhauled to a point where Reloaded looks like a brand new game and includes all new models for almost everything from the zombies, characters, and even the maps. The new cel-shaded art style pops in the headset, and thanks to the PSVR 2, colors are bright and beautiful with everything popping wonderfully in the headset, especially when you trigger Adrenaline mode and everything but the zombies is covered in a blue hue. The stages are all seemingly random locations, meaning you really won't ever see the same thing twice, with zombies all animating very smoothly, and now include ragdoll physics, which is awesome to watch as you blow their heads off in gory fashion and watch their bodies tumble to the floor. As you go through a stage, every node acts as a checkpoint and displays your current time versus your best, so you'll know right away if a run is going your way or not. Despite the cartoonish visuals, Zombieland is one of the most impressive looking games I've seen in the PSVR 2 headset, as it manages to avoid all of its shortcomings while maximizing the presentation, making for a very pretty and gory game, though you can turn that gore off if you're a little squeamish. The voice actors all do their job well enough, with Abigail Breslin, as Little Rock, being the only actor from the films to reprise their role here, though it's kind of funny that Woody Harrelson's character is voiced by his brother. You, as the fifth wheel, will get constantly berated by the troop until you beat most of the missions, with insults and compliments flying at you depending upon how well you're doing on any given run. Guitar-heavy rock tracks accompany you in each stage, though I only really notice them when the guitar kicks in after a headshot. Thankfully, some of the jokes aimed your way will have an F word or two sprinkled in, which nicely fits the adult humor from the movies. Spatial audio is on point, though most of the action takes place directly in front of you, so you may not notice it until most of the horde has been defeated and an errant zombie may be heard sneaking up on you from the far left or right. As any PSVR 2 game should, the haptics in Zombieland increase both the immersion and fun factor, as each gun feels unique in hand, while head haptics are used more sparingly, as one hit from a zombie will kill that run, but when you die, you'll get a little shake, which will also happen if a tossed object connects with your head. Actually, the amount of single shot firing with the pistols, in combination with the resistance of the controllers, was tiring my hands, but in a good way, as it felt more realistic. On this second run at Zombieland, I'm enjoying it more than my first go, thanks in large part to the overhauled visuals and haptics. It's fun, addictive, rewarding, and captures the look and feel of the films quite nicely, and while it may seem light on content, with that very high replay factor, it was all too easy to sink way more times than I meant to on any given run as I upgraded my weapons and adjusted my strategies just to save a few more seconds off my time so I could see my ranking go up against both friends and strangers. I'm going to give Zombieland Headshot Fever Reloaded for the PSVR 2 a 7.5 out of 10. Every time I hop in, I have fun. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching.